Hi, this is Melanie for the Pardesi channel. I'm going to do something really different today. I'm not talking about Indian film. I'm going to talk about the Oscars, which are my Super Bowl and my World Cup, all wrapped up into one. I host an Oscar party every year. I run a contest. Everyone has to fill out a ballot, and if you win, then you get 2 of the nominated movies. So, and I also have a Biggest Loser. If you, I give them a gift card to our local theater and I say, go see a movie already. Let's run down, if you want to win at your Oscar party or in your office pool, let me give you the rundown because this is a very unusual year. There is not a clear front runner for Best Picture, but we're going to save that for last. If you want to win, you have to go through all the little categories too. Starting with the easy ones, who is going to win in the acting categories is pretty much a lock at this point. These we know. Gary Oldman is going to win for Best Actor. He has been nominated 3 times. He's never won. So yes, sometimes the Oscars are in essence a career acknowledgement, you know, a best of end of your career kind of award. Now, he was very, very good in Darkest Hour. I've seen all the Best Picture nominees, and I tried to see most of the acting nominated films. He was very good. I was particularly struck by the performance of Timothée Chalamet in Call Me By Your Name. Now, the problem is the guy is only like 22 or 23. So, especially for Best Actor, it's viewed of your time will come. I mean, the last moments of Call Me By Your Name, when he's just staring into a fire and you can just see all of these emotions playing over his face, amazing. So he was very, very good, but I don't think he's going to upset. Gary Oldman has won every award basically this entire season, so, and he will again. Now, for Best Supporting Actor, it's going to be Sam Rockwell. His very, very showy performance in 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri. I don't know if I completely believe that his racist cop would be somewhat redeemed by the end of the film, but anyway, he did a very good job. A quieter performance, and possibly a spoiler in this category, is Willem Dafoe in The Florida Project, which is online here in the US, and I really enjoyed it, but it's a much more subtle performance. Sam Rockwell has been winning this whole award season, so you can count on him coming home with the gold. Frances McDormand is pretty much a lock for Best Actress. She is amazing. She's already won in the past for Fargo. My personal preference would have been Saoirse Ronan for Lady Bird. I thought she gave a fantastic performance. But I don't, you know, I think it's Frances's year. The only question is she going to wear makeup? Because she didn't wear makeup to the Golden Globes. I mean, she's making her own personal statement. So we'll see. But I expect her to come home with the Oscar as well. For Supporting Actress, I loved Laurie Metcalf in Lady Bird. She was amazing. However, then I saw I, Tonya, and Allison Janney for I, Tonya blew me away. Absolutely blew me away. She plays the mother of Tonya Harding, and during the end credits, you see videotapes of the real mother of Tonya Harding and how closely Allison Janney portrayed her, and to make this really hard-edged woman even an iota sympathetic, that is an amazing performance. So I expect her to go away with the gold as well. Okay, so going into one thing that's interesting is that the various guilds and the people within the different branches, like the director's branch or the makeup branch or cinematography, they're the ones that nominate for those categories, but everyone in the Academy, almost 7,000 members, can vote for every category in the final ballot. Okay, so some of them, they just leave it blank if they don't know, like if they don't have an opinion on costume or whatever. So getting to the writing categories. For adapted screenplay, this one is going to be possibly Call Me by Your Name's only win of the night. James Ivory, who's now has a lengthy career, he's 89, okay? He's 89 and he has not won an Oscar. It was a beautiful adaptation, a great script, so expect to see James Ivory coming away with adapted screenplay. Now, original screenplay could be interesting because this could be the one place where Lady Bird gets an Oscar for Greta Gerwig, who both wrote and directed it. I personally loved The Big Sick, but I think they're just absolutely grateful to be nominated. They don't expect to win in any way. So who I think will win is Get Out. And Jordan Peele, amazing first-time director, and he wrote the script. It's a genre picture, so, but it's still in the running for Best Picture as well. But I think it will come away with the original screenplay. Best Animated Feature, I watched Coco, loved it, absolutely loved it. So it is just such a feel-good movie, so Coco for the win. Coming to Best Song, Coco is also likely to win. Bobby and Christina Lopez, who wrote the music for Frozen, and Bobby Lopez was on Book of Mormon, and and so I think that they're going to win. But this is a really tough category. I absolutely loved This Is Me from The Greatest Showman, and that had the same writing team from La La Land. But I also really enjoyed Mystery of Love from Call Me by Your Name, and I just, that one was really great, but I think in the end it's going to be Remember Me. Okay, now we go down to more of the guilds. Best Production Design, I think this is between Shape of Water and Blade Runner. It could go either way. I think maybe, I think Shape of Water is going to come away with it, but we'll see. Sound editing. Okay, so this is one where I don't really understand the difference between sound editing and sound mixing. So I think this is really between both of these categories, I believe, are between Dunkirk, a big war film, often wins in the sound categories, or it could be Baby Driver, which actually amazing, the synchronizing of all the action to the individual songs. So I'm going to split here. I'm going to say sound editing is going to be Dunkirk and sound mixing is going to be Baby Driver. So I don't know. This is one where I think those are the two that it could go between. Visual effects, I think, is going to be Blade Runner. Animated short, I tried to watch some of these. I haven't had a chance to watch all of them, but the clear front runner is Dear Basketball. Now, if you're Kobe Bryant and you have all the money in the world, what do? You hire John Williams to write the music for your animated short, and you get Glenn Keane, who's never won an Oscar, but was the animator on Beauty and the Beast and many other Disney films, to hand draw the animation to your retirement poem. It's actually a very moving and lovely animated film, but I loved The Garden Party. Now, I'm going to put the link to The Garden Party in the description. It is not necessarily one to watch with kids. Let's just put it that way. It is really coolly animated in sort of a realistic style, and then it takes a dark turn at the end. So that's all I'm going to say, but please go check that one out on YouTube because it's worth seeing. So I kind of wish that one would win, but you've got, again, this older guy that's never gotten an Oscar, Glenn Keane, so Dear Basketball is what it's going to win. Editing could be Dunkirk, but I hope it's Baby Driver. I hope that's what Baby Driver comes away with, because the editing in that film was absolutely amazing. just how slick it was, how everything was choreographed, amazing editing. So, but it may go the interesting time back and forth choices in Dunkirk. That, again, it's a big war picture. That's the one that could win. So it's between those two. The vote of my heart is for Baby Driver. Best original score I'm hearing is Shape of Water. I don't have a strong opinion about that one. It was lovely music. Okay, best cinematography. Now this one may be Blade Runner's only win of the night, but I view it as a lock because Roger Deakins has been nominated 14 times for the Oscar and he has never won. And what I found, even though Blade Runner was kind of slow moving, I found the visuals in the cinematography absolutely stunning. So I expect him to come away with the Oscar. Mudbound, I recently watched. It's on Netflix. I thought that was particularly good. And if you can believe it, in 2018, this is the first year that a woman, Rachel Morrison, has even been nominated for the cinematography Oscar. But this year, it's Roger Deakins. Costume design, I think, is going to go to Phantom Thread, which is a whole film about dresses and dressmaking. So I think that's the obvious choice for that. Makeup and hairstyling, there is only one, and that's The Darkest Hour. I saw it in the theater, and seeing Gary Oldman in that makeup and just, you know, blown up, amazing. Kazuhiro Tsuji, I don't know. Anyway, he came out of retirement to do the makeup for this film, and it was stunning. It was absolutely stunning. So again, I think that's you can put that one in the bank. Okay, visual effects, I'm not sure. I'm hearing possibly War for the Planet of the Apes could get this, or it could go to Blade Runner again. I don't know. Best documentary shorts, I have not watched any of the documentaries, either short or feature length. I am hearing Heroine, which is supposed to be an uplifting film about the opioid crisis, and best short film live action, and it's very timely. It's called DeKalb Elementary. Documentary feature, I have not watched any of them, but I'm hearing Faces Places, and sometimes I'm hearing Icarus. This one is a real, I don't know which one it's going to be. So we'll have to find out the night of. Best foreign language film, I have not watched any of the nominated films, but I am hearing that A Fantastic Woman, the film nominated from Chile about a transgendered person, is the likely front runner, but it's a mystery. And you know, all of the Academy members get screeners so that they can watch these films at home. And they also, they're in LA and New York, there are free screenings that they can attend. So, but you know, it's quite a lot to try to see every nominated film. And so some people, if they don't get a chance to watch all the foreign language films, they may even just leave it blank. Okay, now we're down to the biggies. Best director, I think, will be Guillermo del Toro. It's kind of amazing. It's another person of color. It would be amazing if it was Jordan Peele, but Guillermo has been running away with every single award up until this, this weekend. So I think he is a lock. Normally, the best director and best picture are tied together, and the same film wins both. This year is so unusual. Okay, so what you need to know about and I'm going to put a link in the description. The Oscars since 2009 have used a preferential ballot. So it's very complicated how Best Picture is figured out. And that's one reason why there could be 10, but there are only 9 nominated films. Right now, it is a 3-way race between Get Out, 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri, and The Shape of Water. Each place that I look has a different front runner. And what could be the key to this, I think it's going to be The Shape of Water. But if anyone tells you that they really know, they're lying, because this one is really down to the wire. And the reason is the preferential ballot. So everyone has to say not just who their Best Picture vote would be, but give their second choice and on down, all the way down to number 9. Not every Academy member bothers to do this, and then their vote may just be thrown away and wasted. So the way it works is, if the first run of the ballots, if one film does not get 50%, a majority, then they throw out, they take all the ones in the bottom pile. Let's just say, for point of argument, that Call Me By Your Name was number 9. I'm not saying that it would be, but I'm just saying, let's say it was. Then they take all of those ballots and they look and see what was the number 2 on those ballots. So let's say all of those, you know, were Get Out, then it would all go into Get Out's pile. And if it didn't have 50%, then you take the next lowest one in the pile, and you keep going and you keep going until you reach 50%. So the key is, how many people might have put some of these other films as their number 2 or their number 3, and so that it bubbles up. And I don't know what's going to happen. It's really going to be down to the wire. It's not going to be the craziness of one film announced like last year and another one wins, but it literally, we're not going to know until that ballot is opened, because this year is very unusual. There is no clear front runner. It's not like The Artist. It's not like whatever. So, and even Dunkirk could squeak in. I don't think it will. I think it's going to be Shape of Water, but anything could happen. So I hope you enjoy my biggest holiday, Oscar Day. And I'll see you back here talking more about Indian film.